Sure.
Hey, me and Johnny and Captain Ray and Ron will come down. We'll fix it with you, DeMarco. Between the five of us,
I don't climb roofs anymore, but I'll hand the tiles up.
I'll fly the drone over it.
Yeah, I'm about to say I'll fly the drone.
Hey, we're live, boys. We're live.
Which means that I'm doing all the work.
Welcome into Roofing Nation, everybody, where we talk about everything roofs. And if you want a good price on a roof, you just contact DeMarco Moore. He gets you the best price in town on a good roofing job.
I'm trying.
Hey, that way you could leak the comments about the roof.
All right, folks. Welcome into a special edition of DroneNation. This is the Mavic 3 launch party here. Mavic 3 Classic launch party. We're waiting for that.
You got it?
And DeMarco's got already. What do you got there, DeMarco?
It just popped up. I just showed it on my phone. 11.2 Explore Vivid.
Oh, I got it. Learn more.
Oh, you got it on
It's coming on November 2nd.
November 2nd. Okay.
Oh, no, it's the Sky Pixel tryout program. Nope, I don't think that's it.
I didn't get anything. Where you got it at?
But that camera does look like
DJI.com.
It does look like the right camera.
Yeah.
It's the Mavic 3 camera without the zoom.
Yeah.
Apply now.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Explore Vivid.
What is today's date, fellas? The 27th?
Yeah, so
we're like 6 days early.
Well, but evidently this is the announcement. So you click on Learn More. Yeah, and it just
how much did we learn?
Yeah, so we're not learning anything today, but it's pretty clearly. I mean, all you have to do is look at that picture. You can see that's that Micro Four Thirds camera.
Missing the zoom on top.
Yeah, that doesn't have the zoom. Listen, guys, I might get in trouble for this.
You're going to show it?
No, this is just the Mavic.
You had us for a second there.
Yeah, I tell you. You know,
now Marcus,
they have it. They have it.
The most important question of the whole show, Marcus. Will that new Mavic 3 Classic come with the gimbal strap that you do, or will that come with the new plastic cover that the Enterprise drone has?
Hey, you know what? I don't know, Ron, but I'll tell you, I have come to really appreciate this strap. It works really well. It's a lot easier to get on and off than the.
Why do you think they came up with that new plastic one for the Enterprise drone?
Well, because I'll bet you they got a lot of complaints about how the gimbal moves around and stuff. The way it locks in place when you shut it off. Yeah. But sometimes it can come loose, and so it's kind of moving around in there a little bit.
But you demonstrate all you have to do is turn the drone on and it'll lock itself up again.
And it locks itself back down. Other than we saw some rub marks on the side where when it was moving around, it would kind of hit those front arms as they're folded up. And that bothered some people, but it didn't appear to affect the operability. Or
you mean the way when you take your car over to the mall and you get those little scratches from somebody opening the door?
Well, I don't think it's quite that bad, but there definitely were little scuff marks on there that you can rub off with your finger. But
yeah. So anyhow, folks, I guess no Mavic 3 Classic to talk about today. I mean, we know it's coming on the 2nd now, and we know that it won't have the zoom camera. We can confirm that just from what we saw on the website. DeMarco Moore, doing his investigative reporting. He came up with that. But let's go around the room real quick and take a brief survey on who was thinking about maybe buying that thing this morning if the specs and the price were up to snuff. We'll start off with my good comrade Idaho Cloudcopter. No, Marcus, you go.
Yeah,
first.
I know. Thanks, Ron. I already have the Mavic 3, so there wouldn't be much point, unless it has some kind of spectacular feature on it that I thought I needed to have, and I don't believe it does. Some folks that I've talked to, it has some new tricks, but nothing earth-shaking.
Earth-shattering.
I think the price is going to be the big earth-shaking deal on this one. But I know we have a couple other people in here that have some good thoughts on it.
Well, we'll go to the man. We'll go to the man on your right there, Mr. Johnny Drone Flyer down there in the heart of Louisiana. What was your expectations in buying kind of parameters for this drone, John?
Well, I think the biggest thing is checking the specs out. Of course, I don't have the Mavic 3. Of course, I know Marcus and Ron and Captain Ray. I mean, I know y'all love that drone, and DeMarco and I, of course, been thinking about it pretty damn hard, and we're looking at the refurbs. We're looking at that. So, do I want to get that classic and still want the Mavic 3? So that's what I really have to decide. That's kind of a big decision.
That's a big question.
I don't want to. I mean, I have the Air 2S, and now you can fly that with that RC controller. That makes that even drone so much more, I say, fun to fly. Well, you don't use your phone or tablet. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see, and maybe they'll knock us out with a spec, but I don't really, I'm like Marcus. I'm not so sure about that stuff,
I want to throw one more little thing at Johnny here, and so Johnny, you it's pretty clear you're seriously considering it.
Absolutely,
yeah. So and you are clearly pretty happy with the DJI RC.
Oh yeah.
Would you consider the RC Pro then as well?
Well, I'm kind of like that would be, and that's something I was thinking about actually this morning while I was drinking coffee. I said, maybe I'll just get the RC Pro and skip the Classic, and because I know, once you bought it and once Ron bought it, and it's kind of even the RC at that 309 price is a game changer. It just, I don't know, you just feel so much better and so much ease of flying. Your phone is free. You feel like you got a free hand. I don't know. It's just, and I can't imagine, with the nits being brighter, and of course it's got more memory, and it's got to be even run a lot smoother than just that RC controller,
Let me expand on that just a little bit. And before we get to DeMarco, and Ron, you chime in too. One of the things that I'm finding with that RC Pro is it just seems to me that the sticks are more precise. And I can do more.
Remember, Bill, the drone reviews to always say that about the original smart controller. He thought the sticks felt better than the standard controllers before that came out. So he always said that about that controller. So,
but
Ron, I don't. You could be right. I'm one of those people. I just adjust to whatever I'm flying with. You give me another control as long as it works. I just adjust to it. And I don't think about, oh, well, this doesn't do this as well as the other. Like, I'm the type of person, you can put me in any car and I just immediately learn how to drive it. I don't think, well, it doesn't drive as good as the last car I drove. So I'm a kind of a bad one to ask that question to.
So that brings us to Mr. Moore, Ron. And what we know about DeMarco, is that he already has the RC Pro. So that's not a question for DeMarco, but the Mavic 3 certainly is.
And I think one thing we left out in that story that you and John just told, the RC Pro is almost, well, it is the price of a drone. It costs more than the Mini 3 Pro or the Air 2S, and it almost costs as much as the Mavic 3 Classic. So it is the price of buying another drone. So just keep that in mind, folks, if you're not aware of the pricing. Go ahead, DeMarco, give us your thoughts on your buying decisions for now what will be November 2nd.
I've always wanted the Mavic 3, the one with the zoom camera. So the this Classic is interesting. I'll wait to see what actually comes with it. Something new, something that the Mavic 3 doesn't have. But I mean, just for messing around and looking at things way outdoor, I want that zoom camera to match up with the RC Pro that I have already. So yeah. I'll wait. And then I think I sent this to you the other day. Last time I looked, the refurbs on eBay were going for $15.49 with one battery.
So at this price, that price is only about $150 more than the supposed price of the Classic.
Yeah.
I got a quick story for you, DeMarco. I was just like, you had brought that up, that refurb on eBay. So I was looking around and all of a sudden I saw the Mavic 3 refurb official DJI store for $14.99. And I thought, man, I gotta call DeMarco right now. But I started looking at the fine print and it was without an RC, which actually in your case,
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it would probably be
it's fine. But actually, I would, for buying it, I would actually pay that $50 more though, because what I'll do is I'll buy that one for $15.49, and then put the controller, the RCN one, with my Air 2S, and then sell it. And so,
there you go.
Yeah.
Unless Johnny wants to gift me one of his controllers though. And,
hey, I only really have one now. When I had the Mini 2 and the SE and all that, had a bunch of them. So yeah.
How about Captain Ray? We know Ray's famous for winning the Mavic 3 at the spin up event.
I was excited. I wanted to see how many people in the chat were going to be buying this Mavic Classic, because
you should buy it, Ray.
Would you consider a Mavic Classic if it had the right?
I think the Mavic 3 Classic's going to be a great drone. There's no doubt about it in my mind. I love my Mavic 3, just like Marcus was saying. And Ron, I know you love yours. And it's one of those things where if other people have a chance to buy a drone very similar to it, even though it doesn't have the zoom, they're still going to get a great drone. DeMarco, you're absolutely right about the zoom, though. I love it. Everybody knows I love it because I use it a lot in my videos.
You would never give up your zoom for the standard.
No, if I had a choice, I would either save a couple more bucks and get the Mavic 3 with the zoom, or buy it refurbished. Yes.
Yeah. I got a quick comment on Mark Fisher's comment there. He goes, "I've never been a fan of zoom. I just fly closer." I get that, Mark, and Ron knows this. On the Skydio 2, there is a zoom button on the controller. And what happens when you push the zoom button on the controller? The drone just moves forward. That's what it does.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask Mark Fisher. I know Mark Fisher is also a renowned photographer. Mark, do you not use zoom lenses on your DSLRs? Do you only shoot primes?
Oh, good question. That's
because here's an old photography term. A lot of people like to use primes. They say, well, they don't need zooms. They just walk closer to the subject. But of course, what if your subjects? Okay, let me ask this question. And I don't disagree with Mark Fisher. But what if your subject's something like maybe you shouldn't fly it? Maybe something's where you shouldn't fly, and you can zoom to it because you're not allowed to fly over there, or maybe you shouldn't fly over there because there's people below. So a zoom comes in handy in a lot of ways you don't think of. Normally, you always fly close to something, but what if you don't have enough battery to fly close to something? What if you got to get the shot and get back home because your battery is starting to go? I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons the zoom comes in handy.
I want to address what John Coopy is saying.
John Coopy's got an interesting,
he's talking about the 250 gram. And listen, John, I totally get what you're saying, because that gets you, around remote ID. Although this last firmware update for the Mini 3 put remote ID on there, and it even says in the update you cannot shut it off now. So it's got it no matter what, no matter what. Now, that said, when I look at the capabilities of flying my Mini 3 as opposed to my Mavic 3, it's just not the same. Yeah, do they have a lot of the same features? They do. However, they don't operate the same. The Mavic 3 is so much quicker, so much more precise, and it has a more powerful processor. All of those features on that Mavic 3 work better than they do on the Mini 3. And I'm not saying that the Mini 3 doesn't work well. And I'll give you an example. I've been talking about the focus issue lately, but also what I noticed when I shoot in 4K 60 on the Mini 3, as opposed to the Mavic 3, the Mini 3, you'll get a certain amount of frame dropping. You don't get that on the Mavic 3 when you're shooting in 60 frames per second. And I'm sure that comes down to processing power. So again, you kind of get what you pay for.
I want to address Mark Fisher one more time, and he's making a lot of good points here. But also, one reason is to use a zoom lens too is to get what they call a I can never say the word parallax effect. where you kind of it separates the background from the subject. And you
true.
can do that with the Mavic 3's zoom lens. You definitely can. So that's another reason why you want to have a zoom lens, even on a drone, to get that parallax effect that you see used in a lot of Hollywood movies and stuff like that. So
Mike Kinney in the chat, he was going to get the classic today.
Mike was ready to get one. He sent me a message. Yeah. Well, Mike, put your money back in your wallet for 6 more days, buddy.
I'll hold it.
There you go.
I'll hold it, Mike.
DeMarco will hold your money for you and put the order in for you.
Maybe that's what we should have done. We should have took deposits like Hubson and Exo.
Yeah. You send us your money, and if the drone ever comes out, we'll send it to you.
Hey, Ron, I'm going to ask you I'm going to take the screen for just a second, because what I want to do is show that the upgrade notes for the Mini 3, and I'm trying to remember. Present. There we go.
Yeah, they changed it a little bit. Yeah,
They did. Point here about not losing quality on his, using a zoom lens.
Hey, Ron, you got a celebrity in the house. Eddie Nunez is in the house.
Eddie, welcome in, Eddie. Good to see you here. Let me get rid of these comments here so you can do your presentation. Oh, there we are.
Yeah. Give me just a second here. I'll have
good to get us on screen, right?
There we go. So this is the notes. And I wanted to show this to John because he's concerned about remote ID on the Mini 3.
Which many other folks are also.
Look at this first note right here. Added support for FAA's remote ID requirements in the United States. When the firmware update is complete, the remote ID function cannot be disabled, and DJI Fly version 1.7.8 or later is required to fly the aircraft in the United States. So
now, what if you deny this update?
Well, I suppose you could. And then you would also have to tell your Fly app not to update as well. So,
but Marcus, that's just. I mean, it's not broadcasting today. I mean, is it just ready to broadcast? Is that what we're thinking?
I don't know. I don't. Yeah,
Johnny, the next time you fly your Mini 3, the Karens will be after you with that app.
Yeah, what's it?
See where you are. They'll be at your house. All the Karens will pull up in their minivans and say, "Johnny, you got to bring that drone down. It's illegal to fly."
Well, that's why I fly right here at the cemetery. Nobody really gives me,
the people in the cemetery don't complain.
They'll give you a hard time over there.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, that same remote ID thing applies to the Air 2S. Am I correct, Johnny? Had that same note?
I'm not sure that. I think the Air 2S may have got remote ID. It was the Air 2 that got remote ID early this summer. So I do not know the exact status of the Air 2S.
I didn't see anything on the Air 2S, but I think everybody assumed with the update it was the same. So I really don't know.
Wait, so what's the deal with that though? From what I thought of it, any bird under 249 grams didn't have to qualify.
It doesn't have to, but that doesn't mean the manufacturer can.
Manufacturer can do whatever they want.
DJI and the firmware is gonna put it like on a Mini 2 and 3 and
Remember, DeMarco, DJI is trying to earn brownie points with the U.S. government. So forcing remote ID and everybody's, they probably think is earning them brownie points.
Okay.
What's okay? We don't have any more information on the Mavic 3 Classic outside of it. Come back on November 2nd. But let's pivot to yesterday's massive firmware dump by DJI. I mean, the Mini 3 got a firmware update. The Air 2S got a firmware update. The DJI RC got a firmware update, and also the DJI RC Pro got a firmware update. And the big headline between all this stuff is now, if you were an Air 2S owner and you were a DJI RC owner, they are now compatible. So the little DJI RC will fly all the current flagship drones in the whole DJI line: the Mini 3, the Air 2S, and the Mavic 3, and probably next. This doesn't surprise me in a way that the Mavic 3 Classic is not coming out there, because that you would have thought that firmware yesterday, you would have thought they would have put the Mavic 3 Classic in the selection mode in the DJI RC, and I looked hard; it wasn't in there yesterday.
Smart man.
Why would a firmware person issue a second straight firmware update the next day when they could just did it one time?
That's a great point.
Yeah, within 24 hours. That's pretty smart, Ron Brown. I have to admit, I didn't. You know.
Well, you know, they used to call me Sherlock in a previous life.
Well, I tell you what. Yeah. Well, hey, you know.
But anyhow,
I am so happy. I am so happy about that update, that it's compatible with the Air 2S now. I mean, I said the same thing when they made it compatible with the Mavic 3.
Right.
Because I was very jealous of you guys that had this thing for your Mini 3 Pro.
Yeah.
Ray, are you an Air 2S owner? I forget.
Yes.
Okay, so now you can fly with all your drones now.
Right.
Yeah.
And I ordered one of these for my son and his wife for Christmas too. I should get it tomorrow.
Wow.
What does he fly, Ray?
He's got the Air 2S. Yeah.
Air 2S. Okay.
Hey, let me run down some stats here before we get carried away here. We'll have to mention them again. The Fly app is 1.78. The Mini 3 Pro firmware is 01.00.0400. The DJI RC controller is version 01.02.0000. And the Air 2S is 02.04.23.20. They have an extra dot in the Air 2S series. And I do not have the firmware. If it indeed was a firmware update for the RC Pro, I do not have that number. Do you know if the firmware got updated or just the app on the?
You know
RC
what,
Pro?
Ron? I don't remember if it had a number on there or not. But I'm with you. I have a feeling it was just the app.
So okay, so it's probably not a firmware number there. So anyhow, that gets your numbers up to date there. Now, you know, some people are just going to look at this update and think, oh, the Air 2S and the RC Pro go compatible, and that's the end of the story. That is not the end of the story. The Mini 3 got some significant, well, not significant, but nice updates yesterday to make it a much better drone in many ways. And also, even the Air 2S got a couple little small updates in there too, like you can control the expo settings in city mode now, and one or two other things in there. But Mark,
you want me to put all those notes up, Ron?
Yeah, and you know, you've actually flown a Mini 3 already with the new firmware, right?
I have.
Can you speak to it a little bit for us?
Yeah, sure. Before I put those notes up, so one of the issues I've had with the Mini 3 is the autofocus not responding quickly. The touch to focus works fine, but for instance, the best example I can say is when you're doing a droney, it's focused on me, and then as the drone backs up, it goes out of focus, and it takes it a while before it refocuses, or you simply touch the screen. So I got a hold of DJI, and they said, "Hey, make sure you're on the latest firmware." So yeah, we had that firmware update. They also said then to reset the camera parameters, which I did. So we get the big firmware update, took it out to try it out, and I've got that video posted on my channel right now. It's better, but not.
I'm laughing at Mark Fisher.
Yeah, it's better, but it's not. It's not what it should be. It still is not completely focusing instantly. And so the takeaway, I think, and Ron brought this up, is, you know what, anytime you change a scene, you just got to tap to focus on that thing. And I think it comes down to processing power. Again, you don't have that problem with the Mavic 3. You do with the Mini 3, and I think it's just because of processing power. Now, the other thing that I did was I tried out the vertical video in Master Shots.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big vertical video fan, but you know what? It was pretty darn cool because that vertical shot, it was a cloudy day, and you caught all the clouds in the sky plus the subject that you're looking at. It actually turned out pretty good, so I can kind of see the advantage of that.
Marcus, on a focus, is that any different with the RC controller than the RC Pro, or it's the same?
Say that again. I was looking at Koopy's comment.
Is it the same with the RC controller than it is? Is it different than the RC Pro? So it's the bird, not the.
Yeah. It's the firmware for. So I think you use either RC, you're going to get the same same functionality, Johnny.
Gotcha.
But it worked very well, and I was impressed with it. Let me show you the notes from the from the that they had here. So we already talked about the remote ID, and then of course it talks about master shots. But you photographers are probably going to like this, and this is in a little drone like the Mini 3 Pro. Adds shuttle priority and adds ISO priority.
And let me chime in just a little bit now before you go. And they call that AE. A lot of Mark Fisher could tell you a lot of cameras over the years have a DSLRs have an AE feature where it's kind of a mode where you can still like control your aperture, and your shutter, but it'll handle the ISO and the exposure for you automatically. So it's kind of you're not in full manual, but so you're sort of somewhat still in auto. So that's going to be good for people like you, Marcus, who you kind of like to stay with auto, but this will let you kind of still be in auto, but have a little more control than you're used to.
You know what? I do that. I use that on my Canon M50, Ron.
There you go.
As you know, Ron, I'm not super into manual settings, but I do understand that, and there are advantages sometimes. And then, Ron, you're going to have to talk about this one: support for adjusting style parameters such as sharpness and noise reduction.
Remember, well, if you had a drone like the Mavic 2 Pro, you had those the controls or whatever. You could adjust how much sharpening you wanted baked into the video. And noise reduction. There used to be another one in there too, like a third thing. But you can, you don't have to let the drone decide that stuff. You can control how much sharpness is baked in. So in other words, I'm going to get people mad here, Marcus. If you want your video to look more like the Altel Nano video, you could just turn that sharpening button all the way up to the top. You know what I mean? And you get that, and you get that more, Altel Nano look to it.
Right. And then support for wide angle lens, and that is something the folks at Firmware.
Ron, where'd DeMarco go? All right, there you go.
He probably had an important client on the other line.
I know. I'm waiting though.
I didn't mean to interrupt, Marcus.
Actually, the truth is he's waiting for his roofer. He's got to keep an eye out for the roofer.
Yeah.
Because in Arkansas, if you don't get those roofers quick, they get away, right?
Yes.
You got to answer the door sooner on the first knock. All right, but sorry, we cut Marcus's presentation off here. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, no worries. So the wide angle lens, which evidently DJI is going to come out with a wide angle lens attachment.
I think it's already out. I think we talked about it a long time ago. I think it was out this summer, but nobody ever talks about it.
Yeah. What I was going to say, I'm going to say it really fast. The folks at Freewell are said to be a wide angle lens and an anamorphic lens now.
Wait, so Marcus, you're saying that for the update, would it not work correctly, or
yes, because it's heavier, it adds weight. And the
okay.
Freewell were telling me that they had to do a lot of engineering on their wide angle lens to make it work correctly.
And this, I want to address John Coopy's comment here. We're kind of, what do you call it? We're supposing all this or whatever. I mean, we know what it said in that paragraph, but this hasn't been tested in the field, so we could still be wrong on this, John.
With regard to what remote ID?
He said, John says, I'm disappointed in DJI for doing this to the 250 grand miles of ship before, but the company has made their own decision to do it. I said, we're basing all this on one paragraph we read in this update. So, this may not be what happens eventually.
Well, hey, I'll say this: maybe that's this last baseball game incident changed that. They were
I'm about to say maybe they know something we don't. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they still have a year, or until next September to walk that paragraph back we read.
Yeah.
So then they're talking about how you need the fly up of 1.7.8, and then we're getting into the DJI RC, which I know Captain Ray is interested in, and that's the update 0102000. And what did it add here? It added support for use with the DJI Air 2S. Big deal to Mr. Johnny and Captain Ray as well. And then the one that Johnny asked me about yesterday, and that's Fly Share. And basically, all that's doing is allowing you to transfer files from the remote controller to a mobile device
wirelessly.
And of course, the ubiquitous fix some minor bugs, and that's about it. Stop sharing.
Yeah.
Now, Marcus, in there was a lot of different notes out there yesterday, and one version of notes, I don't know where I read this, that one of them said that a signal or range were improved, and I don't know which drone that was for or one of the controllers, but they talked about an increase in some kind of signal strength.
That
I think it was a Mini 3.
Okay.
Well, we were just looking at the Mini 3 notes there, Johnny, so I didn't see that in there, but yeah. Now, what is that? Could that could be on the app notes? Maybe. No, that doesn't make sense. Anyway,
and Mike Kitty makes a good point here. For all us using the 47-minute battery, we have, we're going to be over 250 grams anyway. And Mike, I agree with you. I use a 47-minute battery most of the time, so I need the remote ID on mine.
Yeah, guys, I see it. I mean, I see what John is saying. I think I saw Ken say, he's not going to do the update, but I don't know. It's coming. There's nothing we can do to stop it. Now, I understand. I don't think it's broadcasting now, so I don't personally see it as a big deal. But I do understand that I see John's point that they're forcing this on us, or at least on that under 250, and it was kind of understood that it might not be for 250. But I'm kind of agree with DeMarco with what's been happening, and I think if you follow all the rules and do what you're supposed to, I just don't think sometimes by not updating those drones and your apps and all that, you're not getting full advantage of your, of your drone that you paid for. So
it can have unintended deleterious effects.
John, I think you speak for, a lot of people in the community, but I mean, there are a lot of people in the community with the same thoughts as John Coopy also, and I respect the fact that the law's not making them do it, but a company's forcing them to do it. So
sure,
I mean, that's their choice not to deal with that company. Hey, can I interrupt just for a second, guys? I have a few more notes on the Mini 3 update, but I can't pop up on the screen because I'm looking at them on a different computer in the email. But let me just run down them because there's some important stuff here. I think you guys agree, especially you, Marcus. I think we briefly talked about this yesterday. Then this is a Mini 3 Pro centric only. Vertical shooting. We all know that it had vertical shooting before, but now you can support vertical shooting in master shots, focus track, quick shots, and hyperlapse. Now, Marcus, that's a pretty big deal, isn't it?
Yeah. So I believe that they had the focus track before. This update really put it in the master shots.
Master shots is the big one, yeah.
Yeah. But it is a big deal, Ron, and I wouldn't have realized that until I did it and I saw what it did to the composition of the picture, and it was really pretty cool.
Because a feature like Master Shots, which is I hate to use the word gimmicky. I mean, I'm not putting it down by saying it's gimmicky, but that's just the type of thing, especially when bakes in a little music that you would like to put on something like an Instagram.
Yeah, which you can do that. It will automatically edit for you. But what I'm saying is it's even a bigger deal than that because you get all those different automated shots, and then you can edit them however you want.
Edit them all your way you want to. Well, I'm just saying, if I was to make a Master Shots and have it animated, do it all for me, put the music in, that if I post that on my YouTube page, that really wouldn't do that much because nobody's looking to see like a real short thing like that. But that would really do something for my Instagram feed, though. Yeah.
Very, very likely. So,
and okay, another thing here, it talks about the shutter priority. Now we already covered that, the kind of the SE, so we won't go on with that. But that's a good thing. Panorama. Okay, capture more of the sky in any panorama thanks to the upward shooting angle capabilities. So, what we're talking about there is, I guess it's going to use, how the Mini 3 has the ability to raise the camera angle much higher than other drones. I guess they're going to incorporate that into the panos. So that sounds like a good thing, right, guys?
Yeah.
What would you say?
Didn't use that capability before.
Well, now that's an old update where they did that, Ron.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember that had something to do with there was a problem with the panos and it cured that problem, and I can't remember.
Okay, so they're just recapping some of the stuff here. Okay, here's another one: hyperlapse. 2S, 2S speed shutter intervals for hyperlapse photography. Is that new, Marcus, or was that
No,
there before?
that's all stuff in the past. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
but
an older
here's something to do. The remote controller now compatible with the RC Pro, which we talked about. And here's something I think we talked about briefly: less noise. You enables sharper images and less noise in your photos. So that's great to hear. Not that it had a lot, not that it had a sharpening issue or noise before, but it's always good to have more sharpening and less noise. And not necessarily more sharpening, just better sharpening, really. So that's just a couple of things that came out on a DJI email yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, good.
Well, I know. We were talking about the updates, and I was very disappointed when the Mavic 3 had that update, and then it affected the satellites for me. I didn't have that issue initially. It made me somewhat skeptical, but it's really always better to do the updates. It really is.
Listen, here's the way I look at it, Captain Ray. I figure the engineers at DJI know way more about that drone than I do. And if they feel that it needs certain amount of an update, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I agree, Marcus. I agree.
Is the satellite problem fixed with everybody? Is that a thing of the
I don't
past?
hear
As far as I know.
anymore.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hear. You're hard to find a video about that's not 6 months old. Hey, Richard makes a point here that I hear from a lot of people. He would like to see the Mini 2 supported on the DJI RC. Would they ever go that far back and support a drone that old on the controller?
I don't think so.
I don't think so because it's OS2 as opposed to OS3, Ron.
Yeah. Now the Mini 2 is supported by the original smart controller, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
The original smart controller it is. Again, that's an OS2 product.
Yeah.
So now, Johnny, you were just going to buy the Mavic 3 Classic by itself, correct?
Well, I mean, I didn't know how it was going to be presented. I mean, since you already have the RC controller, a lot of people that have the Mini 3, will they give you that option? Which I personally think that they will.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
So we'll see how that works out. If I can talk DeMarco out that smart controller, Oh,
come on, big boy.
I'll trade you.
What does everybody think the price is going to be?
$1,400.
Yeah, 1,400 is what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
1,400 or 1,399.
Well, maybe $13.99.
Good point. You're right. You're right.
DeMarco, we'll give you that $1 back if it's 1,400.
I just got the email. The email just came through now.
Which email?
With the Classic.
Oh, wow. We'll go to emails. Hey, can I address Mark Fisher's comment here for a minute? He said, with all the automatic editing capabilities, it will keep you from being creative and having your own style of editing skills. I agree with Mark, but I think all these automatic editing skills really come into place. If you're an Instagram or TikTok person and you got to post stuff daily, quickly or whatever, and I don't think having a great editing style really helps you that much on some of those, real short social media posts. Any comments on what I just said or what Mark said?
Well, I mean, a 15-second short. I mean, I don't know, really how much can you do? I guess I don't know if you do, and you can do a 60-second short. So,
the only thing I could say is I'm not a real creative editor. I do basic editing, and that suits me fine.
We got some real comedians in the chat today, man. It's almost more fun watching the chat than it is what we're talking about.
Okay, we'll stop talking.
And I'll tell you what, Marcus, they're sure buttering you up. A couple people in here. I don't know if they want something or I don't. They must want.
Hey, let's call out Marcus too. He's the only one in his pajamas still.
What? This is not pajamas, dude. Hey, and this is a good shirt. Johnny Drone Fire made this shirt for me.
Yeah, I know, it's nice. I like it. Yeah,
Marcus, they must think you're in the International Drone Seekers where they got all their pajama bottoms on.
Yeah,
I think you see, I got that plug-in for the International Drone Seekers.
That's right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Hot Rod has a good question too in there.
Where's Hot Rod at?
He's wondering where's the Inspire 3?
Well, they got to take it one drone at a time, Rod. They got to get this Classic out the door first. And then what will be the next drone? Will it be the Inspire 3 or will it be that Mini SE? What's coming next? in the drone from drones from DJI.
Mm.
We know a Pocket 3s could be on the horizon. We don't have confirmation.
Here's a question for you guys. Hey,
Yeah.
If the Mavic 3 Classic and the current Mavic 3 would have came out at the same time, which would you have bought?
Oh, that is the question of the day.
Yeah. Well, it depends on your budget. You know,
I gotta admit, I may have cheaped
Sure,
out.
Look who we're talking to, right?
I mean, DeMarco, I may have went cheap and got the Classic, so I'm glad it didn't come out first because it made me spend the more money, and I really like that zoom. No matter what anybody says, I'm looking at you, Mark Fisher.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, he's going to get it.
He's gonna show it to us. Oh, shit, I thought he was going to show it to us. I feel very guilty that I won that Mavic 3. You know, and
Guilty?
Guilty? Do you have to say it to me, Ray?
Well, Captain Ray, you were a ringer. You
can always give it away, Ray.
Like, right. There was no way you could lose. I'm calling dibs on the chair beside Mike Wright next year.
And I said that before the show. I said, "Hey, where's Michael sitting?" I look up, you were sitting on the front. I was like,
Ray, how much did you pay to get that seat by Mike Wright?
Miles with him, and I didn't win anything.
Yeah,
I was sitting on the side of him.
And did you notice I kept rubbing his back too?
Yeah. How much did that cost you, Ray?
I know.
Well, this is a family show. Marcus, what about you?
Well, except for Mark Fisher's talking about sex here, it was a family show.
Yeah. Well, Ron, I think what you missed is there were some ads.
We had our fans in from the the dark side.
Yeah, from Thailand.
Hey,
with those ads.
Here with us. How
you
doing,
with that,
buddy? He wants a LTE drone.
Hey, that means next Tuesday we got to do another show. That's the second, right?
Hey, I'm off.
Yeah, that's it.
You didn't answer the question, Marcus. What would you buy?
I would still buy the Zoom.
You still okay?
Yeah.
When it came out, I mean, I was shocked by the price. It was a little bit higher for me. Johnny and I were talking about it, and I was like, yeah, that's more than I wanted to spend. Even now, I don't want to spend that now though. That's why I'm looking at a refurb.
You make a great point, DeMarco, because I remember that at the time, and Ron will tell you because Ron was sitting there right next to me, and Michael right on one side, Ron on the other, and Mike, he did not hesitate. He pulled that trigger right away, and boy, I was fretting because, like you said, $2,100, and then I got to thinking about it, and I thought, you know what, you're going to buy the darn thing anyway, so you might as well just buy it right now. So I did.
And you forgot to mention we had Barry Markowitz on the phone too.
That's true. That's very true. Now, where Ron was this guy is really smart, is when he ordered his when he got home, but he ordered the DJI RC Pro with it. So
right. Yeah.
Actually, I only take half credit for being smart. I ordered it when I was still in Texas, but to when it would arrive, so I would be home before it got because I want to sit on the front porch. But I did not order the RC Pro until I got home because Lon Denard talked me into it on the plane ride home from Texas because I stayed an extra week. I didn't come right home after spin up.
Oh yeah,
I went to Galveston for a week and came home a week after the rest of you guys did.
Yeah. Hey, Richard is making a good point, and one of the reasons that I'm glad Remote ID is on the Mini 3 because what he's saying is Part 107 pilots, if you're doing anything commercial, you will need Remote ID on your drone. And the fact that it's already on the Mini 3 means that you're not going to have to add a module to it. So
it's good for Remote ID pilots.
Yeah, it's good for Part 107 pilots. Yeah.
I tell you, it's going to be so interesting when that really goes into effect. What's going to happen, and if there's going to be any incidents, I know it got everybody worked up. That's for sure.
Yeah, good. Johnny made a good point. Jamie Miller is making a point there too. That you use that heavy battery, you're going to need Remote ID anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what somebody else was saying earlier too in the chat. I think who was it? Mike Kinney was saying that he always uses the 47-minute batteries. I think he needed the Remote ID anyways. And I used the unless I make a mistake and put the 250 gram battery, and I use the heavy battery almost every flight.
Right.
Well, you know it as well as I know it. There's going to be a lot of outlaw pilots that aren't going to comply at all.
Well, I don't think
That's
you're
what
gonna
happens.
I don't
You
think
ain't
you
gonna have a choice. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you get around it, Captain Ray.
Maybe in the FPV,
Ty's saying the
world,
same thing that Mini 3 got the remote ID because the heavy battery, the
Right.
large battery, which they know in the US, the large battery is the battery that's used mostly.
Captain Ray, with a DJI product, if you want to take off, you're going to have remote ID active, and you know, we can't say for certain with some of the other drones, but I guarantee you it'll be the same with Autel. I'm quite sure. You know, maybe some of those other lesser brands. Although
Richard already let us know, I think the Nano and Light, Autel has already said they're remote ID compatible. I think the latest version of the Autel Evo 2 Pro will be.
And the FIMI, the new version of the FIMI,
they've advertised that since it came out. Yeah.
And this is not to knock the FPV guys. Don't misunderstand me, but there's going to be so many FPV homemade drones, I should say, that the guys built themselves that are going to be over 250. They're not going to have it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, that is definitely a loophole for sure, Captain Ray. Yeah. Koopy, he's talking about you.
But now, John, if he has a 250 gram drone and he's not flying professionally, he doesn't have to have remote ID on it.
That's true. So we won't see his best drone flights on YouTube, will we?
Unless he develops an under 250 gram FPV drone.
Well, they already
is there such a thing as under 250 gram FPV drones?
Oh yeah, there's tons of them. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cinewhoops. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Here we go, right here. I won't have to worry about it with this.
Yeah.
Ray, what about the one JC sent us? That we won't need remote ID for that.
Yeah, look at this one. And this is the coolest little drone. I'll tell you. Let me light it up for you guys. Let's see if it lights. Yeah, the battery's still charged.
Look at that. Look at that.
Whoa, it's gonna take off.
Oh, it's got auto start.
It's a good thing I was holding it. Otherwise, it would have had another hole in my ceiling.
Where's your remote controller?
It's not.
No, it goes by your hand, and you put your hand under it, and it makes it rise like that.
My granddaughter was flying yesterday
3 times already. So
lots of good jokes there.
Now, Marcus, are you, according to Part 107 rules, are you allowed to fly a drone without a remote?
Yeah,
without a remote.
Yeah,
without a remote. Dobo makes an interesting comment right here. Ken's in.
Yeah.
How you doing, Ken?
So it depends, and Ken will be the guy that knows way more about that FPV than we do, and you can fly him in a FRIA. However, well, I suppose a FRIA is not so bad for FPV because, well, anyway, it would be. That'd make me mad. You can't go fly where you want to fly. Anyway, it is a complicated issue, is the point that you were making, Captain.
Right.
So you think next September we'll be doing a lot of shows about remote ID coming and all the rules and regulations and yada yada yada?
Well, I suppose you're right, but what I get back to is if it gets me extended visual line of sight rules, I'm all in. I'm fine with it.
Now we've seen this past week, and I think somebody corrected me, and I wish I could give person credit. We've seen a lot of stories about what we'll say professional flying companies getting beyond visual line of sight things, but I was correct and said they did not get approved. They just applied for waivers for that they haven't been approved yet.
Some of them have been approved. I know I've seen some articles.
I guess the ones I was talking about specifically on Monday, and I was talking about it in vague terms, so I don't even know which ones. But one in New York. I talked about one in New York that was they were going to get a roll on beyond line of flight. That I guess that was just applied for, not approved yet.
And I think what you're talking about with those commercial companies is, Ron, is where they're using LTE and they are flying miles and miles and miles, like 20, 30 miles.
And that was in what they call a drone corridor also.
which they have in the UK right now.
And that was in New York, which they have a big drone corridor there too. Oh, listen, John Coopy's not in any trouble at all. All his footage is obtained by his 107 co-pilots too.
Still, yeah, there you go.
Ken is making a good point, and I got to compliment Ken. He had an awesome show last night. I found it so interesting.
Yeah,
about this DFR.
I gotta say too, I don't know if you saw that Greg from Pilot Institute put something up about the community-based organizations. That's a great video. They got some stuff coming down. Got some new, some rules and stuff. So yeah, that's a great video. I think it popped up yesterday. Greg over at Pilot Institute did put that yesterday evening. So
I hate to say it, but I missed Ken's show last night. DFR, what does that even stand for?
Drones for First Responders. Yeah, it was really very interesting. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ken. Forgive me.
Paladin, correct, Ken?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Well, you can watch the replay over at his channel, Original Dobo, right? That's the name of his YouTube channel?
Yeah, that's the name of his YouTube channel. Hey, I will say this, all of my friends over there in Spain flying the Avata, they're all using Ken's ribbed riders, man. They just love them.
He went international on those, huh?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
In fact,
did they have to pay duty over there?
I'm sure that they probably do. It's Europe, so value-added tax, they call it.
Hey, Ken puts on there. I guess the FDR is getting approved for beyond visual line. Hey, welcome back in, DeMarco. Did you get your roof finished while you were gone?
He's up there taking pictures now.
All right.
Why didn't you offer to do some drone pictures?
Yeah, you should have went up there, DeMarco.
We could have cut you some money off the bill if you got the photos for him.
No. That's a hobby for me. I'm paying him. To do that.
Hey, Ken's got a good comment. Jackie's his representative over there.
Well, she is. I mean, she really, she put him on there, and she talked Steve Gardner. So Steve Gardner in her last video, he had a couple of crashes. Well, after his first crash, you see him putting some ribbed riders on his drone.
Hey, Ken should use that as a marketing video, huh? Steve quickly putting the rib riders on his Avata. Yeah, you should partner up with Steve.
Yeah,
Jackie does some incredible stuff too. Wow,
she does.
Jackie is an amazing editor,
and recovery drones says the ladies love them too. We'll get off that comment here. We don't want to get booted off the air.
Yeah, my cousin Dre.
Oh yeah.
So, any more comments about anything today? We're about the 1 hour mark here. Any comments about the Mavic 3 Classic? Any comments about yesterday's firmware updates or compatibility with the Air 2S and the?
I feel bad. I feel bad for all the people that were going to buy this Mavic 3 Classic. I do. I was excited for them, but it's coming.
It's coming.
November 2nd. We got to wait until November 2nd.
We got Elo Crow here. We jumped the gun on this show. We did. We were going off information that we saw on Twitter. We did jump the gun a little bit, but we'll be back we'll be back next Tuesday.
That's all right. Hey, Ron, that's all right. You know what? It's fun talking about it, and like you said, we'll get an update between somewhere between today and next Tuesday, so we'll know it's coming. And of course, they have the date, so we know that now.
Well, I'm going to say this, Ron. I'm going to have to go back to my source and kind of chew him out a little bit.
Well, remember, they were all the sources were half right. They knew something was happening the 27th. They just didn't know it was the leak or the official kind of leaks from DJI on the 27th. So they did kind of get it half right.
Hey, here, let me say this. I wonder if the influencers have been flying a drone.
Oh yeah, they have it.
Well, DeMarco, tell us how is
yeah, and I say that though because Ken hates that. I'm not an influencer.
Yeah. I just wonder how he likes it. I know he's gonna like it. I think he's gonna like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer Richard. My sources tell me that is not going to happen with the SDK for the Mavic 3 for sure.
Right, that's what I hear too. And it kind of makes sense because they have their own enterprise software in their
That's
enterprise
right.
edition.
They're promoting their own enterprise software.
I think I see the Mavic 3 Classic box right there behind Marcus. I'm not sure what that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of boxes back there, Johnny.
That's a Bugs 18 box back there.
Yeah, probably. You never know.
And I really always
surprised
look forward to
myself
Billy's videos too on these new drones. I like Billy Kyle. I do.
You know, Billy's great. Another way we knew the drone wasn't coming today. If we checked our YouTube feed at 9 a.m. and there were no influencer Mavic 3 Classic videos up there, you knew it wasn't coming today. So
yeah.
Who's buying though, Johnny? Johnny, you said you're buying?
Kenny.
Who's the closest buying, Johnny or DeMarco?
Yeah. It's a damn good chance. I'll say that.
DeMarco, what do you put the
Johnny some money?
What do you put the chances at Johnny buying that drone? What's the odds?
I put it at 70%, 75. Yeah.
Good pick. Good pick.
And you're hot this week. DeMarco. Your Bears really job on Monday night.
I'm 3-5.
He jumped on them Bears, you know.
But that Bears was a gutsy pick. Johnny, who else do you know would pick the Bears 8.5-point underdogs and they win the game going away?
Hey, I tell you what, that was a good pick. I have to admit. Now, I would have went the other way if I was a
DeMarco, we gotta record this. Johnny actually gave you credit for something.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I am way down. You know, I just try to make them feel good. You know.
Hey, listen, Girl Man's got a update for us. Just a 411. I hear Phoebe's releasing a VTOL like the Disco drone, possibly LTE, and possibly the Phoebe X10 SE as well. No. So the X10 is their controller. So they're gonna release an SE version of the controller.
And
what does he mean by disco? I mean that's a plane.
Vertical takeoff,
plane, right?
Vertical takeoff and landing drone, and by LTE he means that it can be controlled via cellular.
So that means they'll have an unlimited, almost flight range. Well, battery will be the limiter.
Long range, similar to the Autel Dragonfish.
So Grillman is probably more accurate than all those other leakers we got the information the Mavic Classic 3 from.
Well, all my best information has been coming from Canada, and that's where GM lives. So
yes,
yeah.
Did you see his fall colors looking great in his last couple of videos?
Yeah.
Ron, did you see my comment? There you go.
He predicts the Phillies will win the World Series. How many games, Ray?
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm going to say in 6.
And Bryce Harper will be the MVP?
I tell you, I just think they're going to win.
They're going to win it all.
And I know you want them to win.
I'm supporting them here with the cap.
It's a good money line bet. I can tell you that.
Hey, Mark Fisher's buying the new EXO drone. He says he's done with DJI.
Military drone. Yeah.
There you go, Mark.
There you go.
I'm going to get Marcus a prediction here. Will we ever see another drone from EXO?
That's a good question. I wonder about that as well, Ron. If it just gets played out with what they've got or not, who really knows? We know Hubsan has coming out with a version of the Ace Pro with a 1-inch sensor on it, and then they had that new. I don't know. I don't even know what it brings to the table. It's got a carbon fiber look to it. Little mini drone, and they haven't built a mini drone yet that I think is.
Now, how long will Hubsan be gated from selling drones in the U.S.?
Here,
go ahead, DeMarco.
No, I was going to say, if they are selling, if EXO is selling and they are making money, and Hubsan is making money, we will keep seeing them. If they are not, we won't keep seeing them.
I get the feeling that Hubsan is trying to break free and start selling drones again. I'm getting
here we go.
Well, then, that goes to show then they aren't doing well then, because if EXO was so good for them, they would keep that up then. But no.
Yeah.
Well,
I like to see the competition. I really do. It's tough to compete with DJI though.
course, EXO really isn't competition, right? Because all they're doing is rebranding Hubsan drones for more money.
Yeah, it's not any different.
Let me tell you, I have EXO drones, so maybe I can speak from a little bit of experience. And let me say this. They are no competition for DJI. Right. Trust me on this, nor is FIMI. Neither FIMI nor Hubsan are competition for DJI. They are not even in the same ballpark. They're not in the same game whatsoever. I suppose they're all drones, but that's when you lose the comparison.
I got to make give the opinions of the channel here. The opinions just said here, Marcus's own opinions. Any angry emails and bad tweets should be sent to IdahoQuadcopter.com. His opinions are not the opinions of the DroneNation network of shows.
Yeah, okay.
He just got banned from Banggood. That's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we have been down this road before, and when I first saw that Ace, and it was $700 whatever a year ago,
no lie,
I was like, man, they are barking up the wrong tree with that price there.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to shut up now.
Marcus, we're just giving you a hard time. We echo your, we really echo everything you said or whatever. If you're going to pay $700 and some for a drone, you probably should stick to a DJI or Autel.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, Ron.
If you like messing around with drones, trying to tweak this or tweak that or whatever, and there's a price point thing.
Yeah.
But like I said, I flew that new FIMI X8 SE the other day. I had some pretty good experiences with the drone at first. It's a $439 drone. Hey, I was thinking it was pretty cool. I took it out over the canyon the other day for no apparent reason at all. I started getting gimbal errors and started getting waviness and jello in the video. Well, what's the point of the drone if you can't get reliable video? If you're going out on a flight and you can't count on that camera capturing what you want,
right?
What's the point of the thing?
I wholly agree. If you really need to go out and get the shot, you better take one of your DJI drones with you.
That's exactly right. And then I took, speaking of EXO, I took that EXO drone. That's the one that's the same as the Hubsan Ace Pro. I saved the video to the SD card rather than the internal memory. But what happens then is it reduces the bit rate. So I get the video off the drone. I had this beautiful flight out over the canyon. I get the video off the drone, and the bit rate is so low, you're getting that pulsing in the video. Yep. So then what's the point? Why did I even get the thing out and fly it? I could have taken my Mavic 3, Captain Ray, and I know I would have got some good, really nice video.
Right. That's for sure.
Hey, Mr. JRC is worried about us not getting to work.
I am at work.
I tell you, it's nice being retired. It really is. And
it is.
You guys will all be there one day, Hey,
Mr. JRC's, YouTube's our work. We're at work right now. We clocked in this morning. We're some of us are monetized channels, right, Marcus?
I just got my Venmo from DroneNation.
There you go. Yeah, we pay this paddle well here, Mr. J.
We need that
in the mail, right, Ron?
$10.99.
This morning we had Egg McMuffins in the green room,
and
Johnny bar free coffee.
Yeah,
got all the coffee you want right here.
He made DeMarco a pumpkin spice latte with.
Look, I got some donuts. I got some donuts, DeMarco.
Oh, donuts!
I think the Philip.
I like donuts.
Now, Marcus, you do make a good point. You always say, and I will say this: you buy a drone because of the camera. And whether you're flying, like you said, you had the FIMI out there, you could have had the DJI and you wouldn't have to worry about all that. But it is fun to, I guess, kind of tweak those drones and stuff. But hey, if you want a money shot, hey, bring that DJI and don't worry about, if you want to have fun with the other drones. I had the V-Copter. I do like the Nano Plus, but if you're fooling with the FIMIs and the Hubsans and the EXO, we kind of knew that, of course. We longtime drone buyers or whatever, we already knew what the EXO and the Hubsan were. So
we knew.
It's not new to us, but the camera is.
Grillman wants to disagree with you here. He says my X8 SE is one of the best the best drones I have. He said he must have won the lottery and got the good one.
Listen, GM. You know, my first flew flights with it were really good. It's the best camera I've ever seen on a FEMI drone. However, I go drive all the way out to the canyon. I take off. I start. I had some gimbal errors. They went away. I took off. I get the video back, and it's all wavy. Yeah, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I gotta agree with you.
No, hold on. I'll say this: if DJI can do it, can sell a good drone with a very decent camera for $250,
Yeah.
why can't FEMI, Hubsan, and whoever else do it for a similar price? It don't have to be $250, but no, they can't do it for $700.
Right.
You know, and we all have different drones here, so like we all laugh and giggle about this. But I say this all the time: for the people who save up their money and buy, $700. Charlie sold me for this. He sold this Exo, and then they get out to that field and something happens to them.
Right.
And then they
But
jump in our chat and say, "Hey, I bought this," and we all shake our head like, "Man."
If that's the only drone you ever had, you might think it's good.
You think it's the best? Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
You're right, Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
Like if the only car
he
you ever
could have
owned was
bought
the
an
Yugo,
SE,
you think the Yugo was
SE
a
and
good
saved
car.
$500.
Sorry, DeMarco, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Johnny's at church. It looks like to me.
Oh yeah, that's Phyllis's. I don't know what
I
that
don't
is.
know.
This
I
is
can
Phyllis's
watch them.
desk at the cemetery, so she got like a little.
Believe me, Marcus, his backdrop is better than it was an hour ago.
Yeah, Ron was looking at one of the services up there.
Oh.
So
I thought maybe you meant Johnny was in the shower or something. I'm going, no.
Well, we can't show that on air here. It's a family show, but listen,
You would really need that zoom lens. You know, just saying.
Oh, now you're getting us demonetized, and we were doing so good. The paid checks are canceled now, guys. It's Johnny's fault. But listen, we're going to hear more than an hour now.
Wait, hold on. Gorilla Man's question down there. The next one.
There you go.
Yes,
Yeah.
We all started there. We all started, you know, with the Walmart drones, and I actually started with that Parrot from 2013 with the big foam around it. You know,
foam? Yeah.
Spy Striker for me.
But that's the thing, is like we all started in it and stayed with it. And for every one of us, there's how many people who say, I'm done with this hobby.
Yeah. These drones are terrible. I can't.
I'm not flying that suit. Yes, stupid thing anymore. Yeah. Oh, Johnny, I like that.
Set.
Y'all maybe
in the
move
toilet
to
Much better,
my desk now.
Johnny. Much better.
I'm just giving you a hard time, Johnny.
No, this is a picture I did of the cemetery. It's hard to see from right there, but I did an air shot, so we kind of had it.
One of your pro shots.
So
okay. Anyhow, we're going on way too long. We haven't shown a Mavic Classic yet, so we will be back next week, November 2nd, and hopefully we'll get a Classic then, and be back. Get your pumpkin spice lattes ready. Get a little dab of whipped cream on them. You know, get some good donuts. What's a good donut, Johnny? Somebody said about the Krispy Kremes.
Voodoo donuts.
we don't have.
I'm a Dunkin' Donuts guy.
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts guy. Get your donuts and whatever, and get ready to watch Johnny and possibly DeMarco hit the buy button next. I believe that's Tuesday, or when is it? Wednesday, Tuesday. Tuesday. So the first. Okay, so the Halloween's on
Wednesday.
Sunday.
It's Wednesday.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Who's got a calendar?
I'm looking at the calendar. It's Wednesday.
Okay.
Right
here.
Are you sure, Marcus? Are you sure?
You guys on Drone Fly for Fun show
Wednesday.
that night.
So you guys are having the show Wednesday night.
I know nothing, DeMarco.
Oh yeah. You know what? Now that you said Halloween is on Monday night,
Right.
so I'll be
Monday night. Yeah,
Monday night, and
Are
I'll
we
be
gonna do a
busy
show on
handing out
Halloween?
candy. What'd you
Hey,
say?
Will you have to cancel the show on Monday night because it's
I
Halloween?
wouldn't cancel the show though, but I'll be in and out. I'll say that.
I will be in and out too.
So you guys going
playing
to be in
that night.
custom? Because if you're going to be in custom, I might have to get in custom for my show.
You
Yes,
have to dress.
right.
You have to dress up as the Mavic 3 Classic, Ray.
Hey, and you guys on a Fly for Fun show next Wednesday, so we may be able to show
Yeah,
that.
but we better. Your show's early, so the Phillies won't be on. I may not be on DroneNation much Monday night. The Phillies will be playing, so I'm going to be in and out too with DeMarco.
It's up to me.
Yeah.
Because I could give a.
I'll be in between innings.
I could give a rat's about the Phillies.
Come on, Marcus.
He's going for Boise's baseball team.
Whatever that is, I don't even know what that is. So
The Yankees.
Look at Mr. JRC's comment.
And just to let everybody know, I got Tony Faz and his son Nicholas on my show Monday night.
Really, they were at that drone meetup that you attended, right?
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, it was great flying with those guys.
Good. They're great guys too. I've met them in person too at the Ken Herron Boardwalk meetup. They're great guys. So looking forward to seeing them on the show Monday night. So
good.
Yeah. So all right. Well,
thank you for the invite, Ron. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I don't know for anybody else, but for Captain Ray and I, it's a beautiful day here on the East Coast. Captain Ray and I need to get out and fly some drones and do some good stuff today. So I don't know about the weather anyplace else, but it's good. It's good on the East Coast. So thanks everybody who joined us in the chat. I'm sorry we didn't have a Mavic 3 Classic to show you. I mean, I know we got you under false pretenses, so but we ate a little crow today, but we'll be back next week to make good on our promise.
Yep.
So all right, have a great day and fly safe. And don't forget, there's shows tonight. When's tonight? Tonight's what? Today's Thursday. Don't forget
Ken Herron
show tonight.
Gary, Brand Aerials.
Don't forget Brand Aerials tonight.
Tammy
G's. A lot of good shows tonight.
Yep.
Fly for Fun show.
Next Wednesday. Well, we can preview that the day. You guys will be all there that day in the morning, and you'll be able to talk more about it at night. Well, we're doing the show too.
Drone Seekers on Sunday.
We might as well just do a marathon. Get Drone Seekers on Sunday. What time?
Well, be at 3 p.m. your time, Ron.
Yep,
3 p.m.
Okay. What time there? What time in Spain?
In Spain, it's going to be 8 p.m.
Okay. All righty. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks for stopping by.
Have a great day.